Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to RRTV's broadcast of Round 7 of the Australian-New Zealand Skip Barber Championship, coming live to you from Brands Hatch Circuit Grand Prix. So we've got a huge lineup ahead of us today, but before we get into that, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Adrian Jarvis. How you going, Adrian?
Yeah, good, Bernie. Thanks for having me back up here in the booth. Yeah, everything's going fine. It's going to be definitely a big one today.
It certainly is. So for the viewers out there who wish to tune in, we're covering, as I just said, the ANZ Skip Barber Championship. This is going to be a 50-minute timed race. We do have 24 drivers qualify for this race, but at the moment we have about 18 that have joined the service. So hopefully those other 6 that did qualify will jump in and give us a full grid. This broadcast will finish at around about 2:05 today. Then we're going to be going straight over to cover the Open Star Mazda Championship. That will be again at Brands Hatch. 40-lap race, 65-minute time certain. We will have safety cars and live admin, so that series is really taking off in a big way. And then at 4:15 till around about 5:30, we've got the second round of the Australian Grand Prix series. This will be a 42-lap race, 50-minute time certain. Now, all 3 of these series have great grids today, so it's going to be for exciting racing, Adrian.
Yeah, certainly will, Bernie. We've seen in the past here with the Skippies, they've always given us great racing, even with the Star Mazdas, Formula 1 and even the SEK, so that's all awesome racing here in Australia at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is, and a little birdie told me you will be driving in the Open Star Mazda Championship today.
Yeah, Bernie, I'm throwing my hat in the ring, giving another car a run. Qualified 20th, I believe, there, Bernie. So some team said, hey, you want to have a race this weekend? And I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So in with the team as well, Bernie. They've let me borrow their car for the weekend, so you saw me out there racing around at Brands Hatch today.
Fantastic. And what team will you be driving in today?
Our good friends TD Racing, they've lent me a car for today, so I'll be shooting around in their car today.
Man, they're pretty game loaning you one of those cars, aren't they?
Yeah, I did tell them that I hope I don't need to put a deposit down because I was certain I wouldn't get one back.
Fair enough. Well, we'll make sure we cover you in that race. But also tonight, folks, we have at 7:15 p.m. the Australian or the SEK Queensland GT series. We've got a 2-hour 45-minute enduro coming to you from Donington Park tonight, so that's going to be exciting racing as well.
Yeah, certainly will, Bernie. Another English race circuit here, so we don't have to go too far, Bernie, so that's going to be good on our little travelling today. Yeah,
that's right. We'll just have to jump into the RRTV Learjet and make our way over there. Hopefully they'll have the champagne and caviar waiting for us as well.
Yeah, let's hope, Bernie. Put it on for us and give us a nice little welcome. So yeah, it should be good today.
Yeah, it certainly will be. So we've got 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go before the end of the race warm-up here. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at the qualifying. Now, for those of you that are new to this series, they do have 3 qualifying sessions, a Tuesday night, Thursday night and a Saturday afternoon, and their best qualifying time sets the grid. So congratulations to Troy Burgess. He has pole position for today's race. He set a 1:38.326, but I tell you what, David Buda was right behind him, 1/100ths of a second behind with the 1:38.343, and then 200 second behind was Uard Noralampi starting out a third. But look at Colin Sudi here. These guys are just so close, the top 5 at the moment. Colin Sudi, 4th, 5th, David Grunell. Now for the first 6 cars, there's 300ths of a second, I think, around about separating those, Adrian.
Oh, that's awesome there, Bernie. I'm just having a look at their practice times now as well. We've got Troy there now in the .4, so 38.4, and yeah, there's not much in them in practice even as well, Bernie. So really on it, aren't they?
They certainly are. So if we look at from fourth, we've got Colin Sudi fifth, David Grunnell, that's a new name we haven't heard of, sixth, Ian Bevan seventh, Paul Wood Stotesbury eighth, Richard Craig, ninth will be Troy Duffin, 10th, Mick Gray, 11th, Anthony Mansarella, 12th, Ben Smith. Now, Ben's going to be our man we're going to have to keep an eye on because we know he's a fast charger. Edward Levy in 13th, James Keane 14th, 15th, Brian Hender, 16th will be Graham Morrill, 17th, Ben Seidel, 18th will be Kevin Willman, 19th, Kevin Henderson, 20th, Ben Conroy, 21st, Michael Thomas, 22nd, Stephen Davis, 23rd, Darren Lessu, and rounding out our field will be Jason Willman. Now, we've seen Jason in the Monday Night Lights, but I think this is his debut in this series today.
Yeah, it's always good to get new drivers in it, Bernie?
It certainly is. Now, let's have a look at our track guide at the moment and have a look at our weather. So we're at Brands Hatch Grand Prix, total of 9 turns, 4 kilometres in length. You can see on our overlay there, the red signifies the pit lane entry and exit. It's quite a long pit lane here, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out today. But starting from Brabham Straight, they'll drop down the hill into Paddock Hill. First of a great passing opportunity through there, up into Davids. Nice tight hairpin there, and we should see some 2 wide action down there into turn 3 and up into turn 4. Turn 4 at Surtees is a bit tricky because it sort of tightens on exit, and then they've got that huge run all the way down to turn 5 at Hawthorn, up into turn 6 into Westfield, and then the tricky Sheens corner, which is a blind apex, followed by Sterling's to complete the lap at turn 9 at Clark. But looking at our weather, it's mostly cloudy out there, wind speed of 14 kilometres an hour, humidity is 30, track temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, and the air temp is 21 degrees. So that is our track layout.
Yeah, certainly is a good track here, Bernie. I love the track. It's quite a flying track, isn't it? And it's yeah, it's a great track. I just can't say enough. Enjoy running around here. Can be tricky at times. Can get a little bit loose if you're just offline a little bit. But we've just got to watch them. Some of these corners here, as you go through, there's a little bit of concrete runoff. So you'll see a lot of the boys use as much road as they can.
Yeah, we definitely will. And I'm just having a quick look to see if our stream is live, folks. If it isn't, you'll be watching the replay, unfortunately. So bear with us for one moment.
Yeah, they're going out here at the moment. We won't have too much of a pause while Benny's checking on that, even if it does come up as a replay. But yeah, we can't leave a little bit of quiet air there. So just having a look at a few of these guys myself at the moment. So David Buda is, David Buda was a 38.6 there, Bernie, but Troy Burgess has got down to a 29, 38.29. So really flying here in practice.
Yeah, that's right, at 1:38.291, that's faster than his qualifying pole time. So even though they're warming up, they're definitely putting the pressure on out there. Nora Lampe is currently sitting in second, followed by David Buda. So those guys are starting in second and third on the grid. So has definitely got the pace out there. Then Paul Wood Stotesbury's also got the pace at the moment, sitting in fourth. He qualified in seventh today. and then Ben Smith, as we'd expect, 5th fastest, and he's coming from 12th on the grid today.
Yeah, we'll know Ben's going to come through the field. We've seen it at Villeneuve, didn't we, Bernie? So he'll come through, and it's good to see Paul's actually having a good run. He struggled at Villeneuve last time that we were there, so good to see him up there. We know he's pretty good at driving around here, Bernie, and yeah, hopefully he can get a decent run today.
Yeah, that's right, and we're jumping on board now with Ben Seidel, so we'll come back to him in a moment. We'll do a lap around Brands Hatch. So, Adrian, who do you think the pick for today's race is going to be? You're going to go out on the limb here?
Oh, I know Ben's coming from a long way back, and we've seen him win a race, but this is Brands Hatch, and it's going to be probably a little bit trickier to get through the field than the Villeneuve circuit. Look, I'm going to put my money on Troy. He's got pole. He's probably the quickest out there, and you're not going to get a lot of draft around here. So if he can break that draft early on, I could see him taking the win today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close race between Troy Burgess and Ben Smith, I'd say. But then again, we can't discount Ewer or David. But I'll go out on a limb. I'll pick Ben for today's race.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, you can see Yuha, he's actually on it quite well. We know David can drive as well. We've seen him take a substantial lead as well, haven't we? So it's not like these 4 drivers are no slouches behind the wheel. So yeah, it's anyone's game. But yeah, I'm going to put my money on Troy today, and we'll see how he goes.
Okay, so there you go. We won't put a wager down though. I'm not that confident because the field is so close today. In reality, it could be anyone's race. But it's going to be quite interesting this afternoon, folks, as we cover all 3 rounds, all 3 race types, starting with the Skippies Open Star Mazda and then the Australian Grand Prix with the F1. We're really going to notice the difference in speed around this track today.
Yeah, certainly will. Now, if anyone watches the Skippies today and then they go and watch the Formula Ones, you just see the speed difference is that drastic, even from the Star Mazdas, Bernie.
Yeah, so what sort of a pace are you guys doing in the Star Mazdas around here?
Me, Bernie, from the first time I jumped in, which was 3 weeks ago, I was doing 27s. And my final qualifying time last Wednesday was a 23, so I lost 4 seconds. But the quick boys are doing 120s around here, so that's like 18 seconds difference in lap times, Bernie.
Yeah, that's huge, and I don't know what the Formula Ones are doing, but no doubt we'll find that out later on this afternoon. But I guess they're going to be at least another 10 seconds faster than you guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them getting at under the 1 minute mark there, Bernie, with the F1s. Just all that downforce, the power, and you know, with all that downforce, they can actually fly around these corners a lot quicker than these 2 little cars.
Yeah, that's right, and even the Star Mazda has a lot more downforce than the Skip Barber, of course. So we'll probably see the guys working really hard in the Skippy today, just trying to get the most out of them.
Yeah, certainly will, Bernie. Seen a couple of guys, especially turn 1 there. You don't want to get crossed up there. I saw a guy here in practice earlier. He had it all sideways. I think he was at the Formula Drift there earlier on, Bernie. That's how sideways he was. So, and there's a couple other corners, obviously, as well that's going to happen. But with the track temperature, it's not too bad today, Bernie.
Yeah, well, they've got a nice cool day, that's for sure. It's only, I think it's 27 degrees out there. And so that'll really suit all the cars, I think, during their race time.
Oh, yeah, certainly will, Bernie. And I'm sure the Englishmen out there reckon it's not a cool day. It's a hot summer day for them, and they'll be walking around in their shorts and singlets. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we just had a look at Ben Seidel coming into the pits to finish his warm-up, and thank goodness they got the direct run into that pit so they don't have to go through that chicane, which I'm sure the drivers would be pleased for.
Yeah, for sure, Bernie. Trying to get into the pits with the chicane, you really got to get it woed up, and you've got to make sure that no one's behind you, otherwise you might end up with someone in your engine bay.
Yeah, that's right. And a bit more information about today, folks. We will only have local yellows during this race today, but we do have a race admin who will be reviewing any post-race issues or any issues post-race, including protests. So that's the way this series will run. We can see now they're just finishing up their warm-up, and then the grid will be on and we'll be ready to start this 50-minute timed race. Now, a bit more info. They are running 60% fuel, so they will have to make a pit stop here. Fuel is mandatory, of course, but tyres are optional.
Yeah, and as I'm having a little bit of issues at the moment with YouTube, so I won't be able to answer any questions today, guys, but we'll keep up to date as best we can, and let's have a brilliant race and a brilliant call here, Bernie, today.
Yeah, definitely. We can see them warming up now. We're just waiting for them to get the grid with under green light. Troy Burgess will start from pole, followed by David Buda in second. Ewan Noralampi third. Fourth will be Colin Sudi. We're under green now and the race has started. Troy's got a good start. It looks like the field's underway cleanly. Let's hope we can get them down through the corner. You can really see 2 wide, 3 wide further back down here in the pack. It's definitely on, but it looks like the field has got through nice and clean.
Yeah, just had one car go in the kitty litter, Bernie, but nothing drastic by the looks. Probably got out unsettled there, but generally they've gotten through here quite well at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly have. It looks like at the moment we've got Troy Burgess in front, followed by Ewan Noralampi in second. Good start from Ewan there. David Buda's set back into third with Colin Sudi fourth, and rounding out our top 5 is Ian Bevan.
Yeah, a bit of a drama back there, a bit, Bernie. They were 4 wide with Benjamin Smith, and it looks like he thread the needle and he's gained a few positions there at the moment, Bernie.
Oh, fantastic. So the only person... we've got Ian Bevan going wide there. That's into Hawthorn. You don't want to do that there. He's lucky to keep it off the fence, and he's dropped down to 7th position now.
Yeah, and he possibly could lose another one, Bernie. Just lose that much momentum while the other cars are coming along. So he'll definitely be under fire here soon. Yeah,
well, he's got Ben Smith here already up into 8th position. So Ben, as we know, is a fast charger, so Ian's looking a bit vulnerable here, as we can see now with Ben, taking that.
There's massive accident, Bernie. That's going to be a good replay for the viewers to see, but that was massive.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get hold of that. We caught the end of it, but I'm not sure who was involved in that, folks. We'll just have a quick look here.
I'm putting my money on Ian, I think there, Bernie. I know who else. I think Ben Smith was trying to get through there and Ian just got loose, I think.
Yeah, we'll have a look here at the replay as we've caught up with them coming down the back straight here. So we'll stay... Actually, we're not under replay. Try again. Sorry, folks. Okay, we'll see if we can get it under replay this time and see what's going on. So we're having a look at Ian coming down here. Ben's on the inside. Ben's got through cleanly, but then Ian's just got it all crossed up here. And, he's been collected by James Keane, who's gone over 3, 4, 5 times. So that's a nasty incident for both of those drivers, but I think that's going to be the end of James Keen's race, because as we know in this series we don't have any fast repairs, so that's devastating for both of those drivers.
Yeah, certainly is, Benny, and look, James will be a bit dirty about that. Not to Ian, but just dirty that he just got caught up in that and had that accident. But he should be get himself settled, and he'll be in the next race too, I believe. Bernie, he's qualified for the Star Masters as well.
Yeah, so folks, that was Anthony Mansarella. I'll correct myself. You can see he's out of the car. That's pretty much the end of his race, unfortunately. And we wish him the best of luck for the next race, I guess. So having a look out front at the moment, we've got Troy Burgess in first position. He's got 900ths of a second now over Ewan Noralampi in second position. Third, David Buda, he's dropped back, so the field is spread out up front here, and Paul Wood-Stotesbury's up into fourth. So in fifth at the moment is Ben Smith. Now Ben's he's in the 1:39.696s, about 0.4 of a second slower than our race leader Troy Burgess.
Yeah, so Troy's on a mission here, Bernie, by the look of it, out there and putting these lap times down. He's actually his fastest lap was his previous lap, so as to show he's not slowing down, and he'll be putting these times down as long as he can. But Juha's actually hanging on the best he can as well, with only 1.2 seconds behind, but he's got to be careful here. He'll keep dropping off this draft that they only have a small amount of time to keep in. So like I said, not big drafting areas here, and if you can get away, you will.
Yeah, that's right, and he wants to get away, and he just set a new fastest race time of 1:38.775. That's the fastest lap time anyway, so he's definitely pushing it out there. The other guys are in the 1:39s at the moment.
Yeah, so they're bringing those times down again, Bernie. I think it was, 38.2s or something earlier. So tyre temperatures are coming up and getting a bit more speed out of these cars. But no, they're doing a great job. It's all settled down again, and the boys are putting on a cracker pace again.
They certainly are, and looking further down, Colin Sooty's having a great battle here for 11th spot with Kevin Henderson. Now, we've seen Kevin in the past blow his motor on downshift, so let's hope he has a great run today.
Bernie, and at the moment, David Buda here is hounding the back of Juha's car here at the moment, Bernie. So just watching David, because he did put a cracker lap in before, and even Paul did as well. So third and fourth are actually cracking on here at the moment, Bernie, and doing a great job.
Yeah, we've just jumped on board now with David Buda, and we can see he's definitely hungry to get past Ewan here, and no doubt he's thinking that he has to do something to reel in Troy Burgess.
Yeah, well, he can't afford to sort of stay there behind Juha. I mean, if Troy actually does get a break, which he is slowly, each lap he is getting out there. He was 0.3 of a second quicker that time around, Bernie, and you can see now that David's was only 0.1 behind Juha. That's because he's caught up behind him at the moment. So can't really afford to stay behind Juha if Juha hasn't got the speed to keep up with Troy at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's right, because he's just going to see Troy getting further and further away. But we're just having a look at David's suspension here, just seeing how hard it's working, and it's definitely working very hard over those ripple strips.
Well, it looks like Juha's got a bit time back here, Bernie. It was out to 1.5, it's back to 1.1, so looks like maybe Troy had a little bit of a moment and lost a little bit of time there, and you know, a 0.3 is a big time to lose, and down some of these long straightaways you could sort of, long straightaways, down the front straightaway you can gain up in the draft.
Yeah, well, they're definitely looking like they're pulling him in at the moment. It's the gap's down to 0.9 of a second to our race leader, Troy Burgess.
Yeah, they're certainly doing a cracking job here, and I think we should go down and have a look at Graham here at the moment on Mick Gray. It's really close there, and actually there's like 4 cars here at the moment, Bernie, doing a great job back here.
Yeah, well, that's Mick Gray in 8th, battling with Graham Morrell, and then we've got, looks like Colin Sudi in 10th position. So he's jumped Kevin Henderson, who they were battling for. Kevin's dropped down to 12th at this stage.
Yeah, and Graham just got a little bit squirrely coming out of the last corner there, and Colin got around him. So great driving there at the moment, Bernie. Just who's behind him there? Kevin was going sideways into turn 1 then.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin managed to hang on to it, but you don't want to get sideways going down through there, and that was down into Paddock Hill. But Kevin Henderson's right behind them, so you're right. This is becoming a good battle pack.
Yeah, just checking on the overlays there, and I think even Stephen Davison at the moment and Ben Siddle, they're sort of, they're reasonably close. There's another pack back here too, Bernie. So, you know, we've got a couple of little battle packs as we normally do with these Skip Barbers, and you know, you may not. Oh, who's gone wide there? Just seeing it's on at the moment. Yeah,
there was Ben Seidel getting wide there, and that's allowed Stephen Davies to pass him. So that's cost Ben a position, and he's down to 15th now.
And that's what I like about these cars, Bernie. You know, you're going to get the quick guys, and they're going to have a battle. But you know, it doesn't matter how quick you are, you're going to have a battle somewhere along the line. And I just love it for that. These guys do a great job, and they're a great little car for that sort of stuff, aren't they?
They certainly are, and I'll tell you what, Colin Sudi has now got past Graham Morrell. He's up into 9th, and he's hunting down Mick Gray here for that 8th, so Colin's looking really racy today.
Certainly is, and I love his shell livery there too, Bernie. It's looking pretty smicko, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and we can just see how much Mick's getting that car sliding coming down through Paddock Hill and up into David's here, so maybe Mick's not totally happy with the setup he's got today.
No, and it's brought Colin up really close to him now, so the more sliding you do with these, like a little bit too much sliding in these really slows them down, and you know, these cars are all about momentum, so if they're sliding around too much, you're losing that momentum, so definitely falling in the clutches of Colin here.
Yeah, that's right, so I wouldn't be surprised if Colin gets through, even coming down into Hawthorn here. He'll be having a look. He's got the toe, so here he goes on the inside, too wide coming in. Yes, he's made that move stick quite easily, really, into the fast Hawthorn, and now they're coming up through Westfield.
Yeah, so Colin's next prey will be Troy here, and looking at the lap times, I reckon he'll catch up to him quite soon, Bernie.
Yeah, well, he's in the 1:39.242s. He's 0.3 faster than Troy, so he's definitely got the pace and he's definitely got the time, but you can see already he's gapped Mick, and Mick's now coming under pressure from Graham for that position.
Yeah, it looks like Mick's just struggling a little bit here at the start, hasn't he? So maybe the tyre pressures aren't just quite right for him at the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely something that he's not totally happy with the handling of that car, but I tell you what, give it another lap and Graham probably will get through at this point.
Oh, you should have seen that, Bernie. Colin was sideways as he goes defensive into turn 2 here.
Mick's gone wide, and that's allowed Graham on the inside, but Mick will have the cutback as they go too wide here. Going into turn 3, Mick's covered him off, but he's going to have to look for the undercut.
Yeah, great driving, and there's a car off there, Bernie.
Yeah, I saw that parked on the side. I'm not exactly sure who that was, but we'll stay with this as Graham is now starting to come under pressure from Kevin. And we've
Bernie, that was Yuha that was on the side there. The front of that car is ripped right off, so something's happened to Yuha there.
Okay, we'll go and see if we can get... Oh, yeah, we've had a big issue with Yuha. We'll jump back to the replay. Can you keep an eye on this battle while I take the viewers to show what happened to Yuha?
Yeah, certainly, Bernie.
So
So this... Oh, you go, Benny.
we're having a look at Ewer now. He was definitely pushing it down through Paddock Hill there. He went wide, but he's continuing. Oh, he's running wide everywhere at the moment. So we'll just keep an eye and see what's happened here as he's coming into turn 3. Oh yeah, he's got his wheels caught on the grass there, which has spat him right across, and he's hit hard into that fence, and he's got front wing and nose damage has gone on that car. He's rolled it back out on the track, which is not what you want to do, but he's gathered that up, and no doubt he's going to be towing back to the pits.
Yeah, unfortunately, UR was putting some lap times down, wasn't he, Bernie, and doing a great job out there in second place, but this battle hasn't finished here, Benny. The line is stern, but there's no urgency at the moment. It looks like Mick's got himself settled down. Collins sort of broken away, but not by a great deal. But it looks like he's just dragging these guys along at the moment.
Yeah, so it's settled down a bit for this at the moment. So we'll take you through our top 5 at the moment. We have Troy Burgess out in front, David Buda in second in the... forgotten the name of their team. Ben Smith's up into third. Now, we predicted he's going to be one to contend with, but I tell you what, they've completed 8 laps and he's already in third position. Fourth is Paul Wood-Stotesbury having a great run, and then fifth is Richard Craig. So Richard's also having a good run out there, sitting in fifth position, followed by Troy Duffin in sixth.
Yeah, I think Richard needs a good run here, Bernie. He's struggled this season, hasn't he? Shown a lot of pace most of the time, and just seems to get into the race and gets caught up in someone else's incident and just has a bad one. So putting laps down, scoring points for the team. So obviously there's a team championship here as well. So just trying to score those points and having a nice clean run today, Bernie. Yeah,
well, that's right. I think he's been been involved in some nasty incidents for about 3 rounds. So, as you said, he's looking for a great race. He's got some gap here. He does have some side pod damage on his left, but as you said, he's looking for team points and to back up his team driver with David Buda sitting in second position.
Yeah, and with Juha's incident there, that's sort of helped David Buda out, hasn't it, Bernie? Let him free, but just doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment. He's close to Troy's times, but Troy just seems like the class act today.
Yeah, well, Troy's definitely got a good lead, but we can't discount Ben Smith at the moment. Ben's pulling in last lap. He took 4/10 off David Buda, so him and Paul Wood-Stotesbury are both closing in fast, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're knocking on the door within the next 5 laps or so.
Yeah, well, this will help Paul too, being behind Ben at the moment. Just sit in his draft, just follow him around, and he'll drag him up to David. So this is going to help Paul immensely, you know. And you know, if Ben can get this car up there, you know, a 3-4-way battle for top spot would be awesome.
Yeah, well, I think he started out at 12th, so I'm predicting he's going to be battling for this lead later on if all goes to plan. But remember, folks, we've still got 1 pit stop to go, so it'll be interesting to see how this pit strategy plays out and whether any of these guys take tyres or try to jump the field with the short stop.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it, Benny? I don't think the guys will take tyres. I mean, we've seen it happen in a couple of races, but we've talked to those drivers and it was just like a rookie error that they've left that on. So once again, I don't think anyone's game enough to take tyres because it just takes that much longer to complete a pit stop.
Yeah, and with a 50-minute time to race, I don't think they would need tyres anyway because I think the Skippy's pretty friendly on the tyre wear.
Yeah, it seems like that throughout the whole of iRacing, isn't it, Benny? Most of these vehicles could probably last a whole hour on a set of tyres, but we have seen in other races there that they can actually do 2 hours on tyres. So I can't see them taking tyres. It'll be just a mistake if they do, or they're just not comfortable, or the car's doing something that they don't like. So, which is something that can happen. You can over pressurise your tyres, and it just doesn't like it. So you want to change them off and change your tyre pressures. I think you can still do that in your pit stop.
Yeah, I think you can do that in the pit stops, and no doubt Mick Gray may be looking at that although Mick has seemed to settle down now, so maybe he just burned his tyres a bit and had to cool them off for a couple of laps.
Yeah, it's a certain possibility there. And did I see a bit of smoke there? Oh, I think David Buda's struggling here a bit at the moment. I think he got a little bit sideways going into turn 1 then, Bernie.
Yeah, well, I think he's realised how fast Ben Smith is closing in on him. That gap at the moment is 1.5 seconds. So maybe he's just starting to get a bit nervous.
Yeah, Bernie, I reckon you should give the viewers a replay of David Buda getting into turn 1. Bit of Formula E drifting there, mate.
All right, we'll jump back and have a look at this this replay, if we can capture it.
So he lost at least a second and a half out of that slide there, Bernie. He's dropped down to 2.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, so we've got him coming up the main straight here, so I won't commentate, and let's enjoy this. Oh man, that is a beautiful slide. Great car control. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to commentate, but I just have to on this. This is brilliant.
It was an awesome effort, wasn't it, Bernie? Just to get that thing, it was sliding along, left those licorice strips, and had the smoke billowing out, and he still kept it going. And like I said, he lost at least a second and a half, but brilliant car control in the end there, Bernie.
That's right. I think David should take up drifting by the way he controlled that skippy around that corner.
Yeah, and that's just the product of that corner, Bernie. Get in the wrong position there, and it doesn't matter what sort of car you're in. There's a little bump there, and it'll unsettle the car, and yeah, the thing will go around a little bit sideways. So really key to get in there. It's a very tricky corner, that one.
Certainly is, and it doesn't help that Paddock Hill drops off through there, so that also encourages the car to lose traction.
Yeah, for sure. And but you know, these sort of issues that you have it makes it for the challenge to drive them, and it's just great to do. Yeah,
it certainly is. And having a look at the top 5 again, folks, we have Troy Burgess out in front with a 2.3 second gap over David Buda back here in second position. But David's got to watch his mirrors, although he has managed to maintain that gap back to Ben Smith. It's now 1.67 seconds, and Paul Wood-Stotesbury's dropped down 1.9 seconds from Ben. Then our top 5 is rounded out with Richard Craig, who is 7 seconds down from Paul at this stage.
And I'll tell you, someone that's coming through the field, Bernie, is Colin. He's got around Troy, and he's hunting down Richard, and he's only 1.8 seconds behind. And their lap times are fairly similar from the previous lap, so we'll see how they go this time around.
Yeah, well, we know Colin's got the pace. He did qualify in 4th for this race, and he has, for some reason, dropped right down the field. He hasn't taken a pit stop, so he's in recovery mode at this point.
Yeah, so he actually was quicker than Richard that time around, so it's not going to be long before he can catch up to Richard here. And then, look, I'm not going to say Richard's going to be hard, but if Richard doesn't think that he can fight off Colin here, I'm sure he's not going to fight him too hard.
Yeah, well, only time will tell there. I know Richard's pretty hungry for a good result, so he may decide to fight for that position. It's looking further down the field. Kevin Henderson and Kevin Willman are still having a pretty good battle here for 10th and 11th.
Yeah, certainly are. So these two guys, and even Mick Gray and Graham Harvard is still their battle as well. So these guys have dropped off from Mick. So Mick has settled down there, Bernie, and and dragged along Graham and Kevin and well, the two Kevins actually have dropped back a bit.
Yeah, and I think they're dropped back because they're sort of battling here. They're not going side by side. They're tucking in, but no doubt Kevin's losing some. Kevin Willman, that is, losing some pace as he drifts wide. Now this is going to allow Kevin Henderson to have a go up the inside.
Having a good look here, getting into turn one. Should actually get this done through here, Bernie.
Yeah, he's got that job done, and that moves Kevin Henderson up into 10th position.
Yeah, good overtaking and good peace of mind there to let him through and probably sit down and follow him around, Bernie. Sometimes it's best to sit behind and try and get someone else that's quicker than you to track you along, which we've seen with Colin, the way he's been driving, and same with Benjamin as well. You know, Paul's been sticking behind Benjamin and it dragged him up there, but the gaps are starting to open up there, aren't they? And we should go to Colin there, Bernie, because he's just taken past Richard.
Yeah, well, he took him on the outside. That was like Richard's just lifted off there and just said, here's the position, mate.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Richard's up for a decent finish and doesn't really want to battle, just wants to get this race done cleanly, you know. Sometimes you're better off not trying to overdrive the car, just get home and get a finish done and have a good result that way, you know, and then probably improve next week, trying to get a better position next week.
Yeah, well, he's probably just trying to get his confidence back, I guess, but he definitely made that move extremely easy for Colin. In fact, I'd say he's pretty much just moved over and let him by.
Yeah, pretty well much looks that way, didn't it? And got a few more battles back here. We got Ben at the moment here looking on Stephen. So these guys are still battling away back here, Bernie.
Yeah, well, we've got good little battles up and down the field, and at the moment, so this is one of them, and then the other one was the two Kevins, which they're still battling with Kevin Willman tucking in now and Kevin Henderson after Henderson made that move probably 1 or 2 laps ago.
Yeah, and it's you know, these guys aren't silly. They know when to keep plodding around and not fight a battle. I mean, they're starting to get used to each other. It takes a while, doesn't it, Bernie, once you get into a league? I mean, the amount of time that they race, but they do qualify and that, so you get to know these guys and eventually understand where each other is, and you go from there, don't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right, and you know, that's the advantage of having a league, is you get to race the same guys in a whole championship, and you really get to know their driving style, who's aggressive, who you should avoid, that sort of thing, compared to the official iRacing, where it's pretty much you could be racing a different set of drivers every day pretty much if you wanted to.
Well, that's it, Benny. You know, coming down to time zones and that, you know, you can race Europeans at one time and then race the Americans at another time. So yeah, it comes down to time zones, how long you want to stay up or how early you want to wake up. So it makes for interesting racing, that's for sure. And you know, I love the league racing. You get your community together, and you know, you all have a same interest, and you work from there.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, basically when I race, I think these days I pretty much only do league racing for that very reason.
Oh yeah, it's good. You can get in, and you know, these guys that run these leagues definitely put an emphasis on nice, clean driving and comfortable driving. You know, they realise that some people will struggle, but you know, and then they also see guys there that cause trouble. So these guys do a lot of work behind the scenes, and hats off to them. You know, like I know, Bernie, you put your hat in for the skippies here and try to get it going for the guys in the skippies, and Richard does the work as well, and plus the other guys in the background, you know, doing race control and that. So it's a lot of effort. Without the volunteers, this sort of stuff won't happen. So I reckon pat on the back there for all the guys working behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely, and it's definitely paying off, because today we had 21 starters. We should have had 24, but for some reason 2 drivers didn't turn up, but that's still a good field. But saying that, folks, there's still plenty of room if anyone else out there wants to throw their hat in the ring and have a run at this series. Definitely contact Richard Craig or myself, and we'll sort you out. But one guy that is having a run tonight for the first time is Jason Willman, and he's doing a great job sitting up there in 17th spot at the moment, and just getting used to this form of or this level of racing.
Yeah, it's good to see a new face, Benny. I know what it's like. It's not an easy task, and I don't think Brands Hatch is probably one of the best tracks to be brand new at, unless you've raced here a couple of times. Quite tricky, these apexes and that, especially the blind ones. So it's about learning the track, knowing your limits, and like I said, I did qualifying in the Star Mazda, and over 3 weeks I lost 4 seconds, but that's just practicing around there. So it takes a bit of time, but it's good to see they're out there, and he's not over driving the car. He's just going to try and get a finish. I'm sure he'll get lapped, but he's not worried about that. That's for sure, Bernie. He's just worried about finishing.
That's right, it's just a matter of getting the miles in. Oh, as he gets a huge slide going around, he's not going to hold on to that though, and he's looped it. So that's your fault. You cursed him.
Oh, that's all right, Bernie. That's going to happen at some stage, and he's taken to the pits. So maybe he's thinking, I'm quitting out of this before I cause an accident. Which, he's knowing his limits, and I wouldn't blame him on any circumstance there, Bernie. Just to say, all right, I've tried my best at the moment. I'm still not quite up to speed. And before I get out the road, I'll get off track, and before I take someone else out for the race.
Yeah, possibly, but it'd be great to see him actually jump back in that car and finish this race, I think. But we'll just see what happens with Jason there as we covered that spin. So at the moment out front we have Troy Burgess with a 1.5 second gap over David Buda in second position. Third at the moment is Ben Smith. He's closing that gap, but I tell you what, it's levelled out here, and I'm not sure if Ben's going to be able to improve beyond that with 19 minutes to go. Fourth is Paul Wood-Stotesbury, who's dropped 8 seconds down from our leader, and then we've got Colin Sudi, who's got a lot of time to gain if he's going to catch Paul. He's 7.7 seconds down now.
Yeah, I can see there Bernie David's actually closed that gap back up after his big drifting moment there. He's brought that down probably a second there, so he's actually gained a bit of time there on Troy, and Ben's just seemed to dropped off a bit, hasn't gone as quick as, well, there goes, just dropped there for a second, but looks like David's actually put the time in, and hopefully going to try and jump Troy in the pits.
Yeah, well, it's just going to be a splash and dash, I'd say, for these guys, but Mick Ray at the moment is coming under pressure from Graham Morrell as they come around to finish another lap, and Graham is at the moment sitting right on the backside of Mick as they come around to complete lap 19.
Yeah, Graham's just been sitting here, Benny. We've covered off before here. He's not trying to overtake. You can see there he's not going for any moves. He's just sitting behind Mick at the moment, just putting the laps down. So, and no one's pitted yet. Oh, yes, we have. We've got Yuha, but he's done that because of his accident, but I'm sure he won't pit now. He's done his pit stop, so we'll see here soon that these guys are going to have to stop. So with 17 minutes to go, I'm sure these guys are going to be looking at stopping soon.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised some of them haven't already stopped, but the field's pretty spread out, so I guess there's no real advantage in stopping too early, because you're not really going to get an undercut.
No, well, realistically, these pit stops, I don't see you're going to get a lot. It's just how long you're going to stop for, and it's all down your fuel. So you're not going to gain on tyres. If you threw tyres on, and everyone that threw tyres on, maybe that would work, pitting in early, but at the end of the race it could be a disadvantage. So one of those things. But as I was saying, looks like Graham's having a really good look here at the moment.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he's got the pace. He's just having trouble affecting the pass, but saying that, he's coming up on the inside, but he's tucking back in again. So it looks like Graham might be just a little bit cautious here to make sure that pass is clean.
Yeah, I just wonder if he doesn't. Maybe he's got a little bit more higher downforce on that car. I'm sure you can just adjust your rear wing on those, Bernie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's not a lot of adjustment you can make. I don't think downforce is one of them. I think it's really just spring and damper settings and tyre pressures.
Yeah, it just seems like he just loses it out of the draft, doesn't it? So, yeah, just interesting there at the moment. But, look, he's going to keep going. We'll see how they go in the pit stops. You know, like I said, just a little bit quicker in the pit stops could jump you.
Yeah, that's right. And looking at 6th and 7th at the moment, we've got Troy Duffin closing in on Richard. But again, these guys have been like that for the last couple of laps. So it doesn't look like Troy's in any hurry to try to affect that pass.
I'm just wondering if that damage that's on Richard's car is actually slowing him down a bit there, Bernie.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it just looks like he's got side pod damage. There's no wing damage, so I don't think it should be slowing him down.
It's just strange, like he's definitely... Oh, he's pitting in, and so is Troy.
That's right, and we've got Troy Burgess in the pits. David Buda's coming in as well, followed by Paul Wood-Stotesbury. So we can see now Troy's coming out. He's going to... great stop there, and David Buda's right behind him. We can see now Paul's just coming out of the pits. He's jumped a few guys. Richard and Troy at the moment are still sitting in there, and they're coming out now. So having a look at the pit times, folks, we had Troy Burgess did a 13.6 second stop, David Buda 13.4 seconds, Richard Craig, he did a 12.3 second stop, and in fact got a bit of a gap over Troy Duffin's 13.5 seconds. Having a look down, Kevin Henderson at the moment is the slowest. He did a 17.4 second stop.
Yeah, so did Stephen. He did a 17.4, and Michael did a 17.8 there as well, Bernie. So they're a little bit slower. Probably unsure of how much fuel they needed to put in there, so probably put a little bit too much in, Bernie.
Yeah, they probably did. Now we've got Ben Smith diving into the pits here. He's in the lead at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes when he comes out, and if his manager's controlling that pit strategy. Colin Sooty's also now coming in. Mick Gray. Will Mick come in with Graham Morrill? As they come around, Mick's diving in, Graham's diving in, so that this will pretty much round out this pit stop. As we can see, Troy Burgess now coming through. So where is Ben? They're still stopping, so Troy Burgess will take the lead, but Ben's just leaving now. He's coming back into third, and David Buda is right on the hammer of Troy Burgess now.
Certainly is, Bernie. That pit stop there has definitely helped David at the moment. He's really hounding Troy here, so brilliant pit stop there for David.
Yeah, that's right, and looking at the stop, he got 0.2 of a second gain, but that doesn't tell the full story. It's also how quickly they can come into the pits and how quickly they can exit the pits. So that's definitely paid off for David at this stage.
Yeah, well, David would have gained a lot getting into the pits, that's for sure, and he would have closed right in. And I'll tell you what, Benjamin Smith, 11.6, Bernie, that is a phenomenal pit stop there. So he's gained, 2 seconds just in a pit stop, and you can see it on track how close he is.
Yeah, well, that's right. That was great strategy there by the ERA team there. He's gained 2 seconds, and no doubt they've looked at those pit times and adjusted accordingly.
Yeah, for sure there, and I'm sure he's not that far behind. And as I see here, David's just hanging on in Troy's slipstream, and if Ben can put some nice clean laps in here, Bernie, I'm sure he'll be on the back of this pair here real soon.
Yeah, especially if they start to fight, he'll close in very quickly with 11 minutes to go, folks. They've done a total of 23 laps here, and it's still anybody's race.
Get comfortable and try and keep his lap times up. It's a bit hard trying to follow someone sometimes, isn't it, Bernie?
Yeah, it can be very difficult. It's it's not so bad, I guess, in the skippies. You're not going to, these cars don't have a lot of downforce anyway. But as long as you can pick where they're braking and be wary. But we can see David getting the toe now, having a look on the outside. Troy's covering him off, and as they come down through Hawthorn, Troy's still got the lead.
Yeah, great racing, and Jesus, Mick Gray and Kevin Henderson are battling away back here, Bernie. I'm sure it was Kevin and Kevin earlier, so Kevin Henderson has done a fantastic job here. He's up into 10th spot, Bernie.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and they've been battling for a while back there, but we'll keep an eye on the front two here, because David's definitely looking like he wants to get around Troy with 10 minutes to go.
I'll tell you who lost out in the pit stops as well, Bernie. I've just had a quick look back here, and that was Colin Sudi. He had nearly a 20-second pit stop, and that put him behind Richard Craig. I'm sure it would have put him behind Troy as well, considering how close those two were. So now he's having to fight Richard again to try and get that position back into 5th.
It'll be interesting to see if Richard just steps aside there and lets him through again. Colin's going on the outside into Paddock Hill here. Richard's defending, so he's not. He's decided he wants to race for this position, I think.
Yeah, earlier, Bernie, I think he conceded it just for the fact that it was early in the race, but 10 minutes to go, I can't see Richard falling over this time. He's saying, if you want to pass me, you've got to do it the hard way, and there's nothing wrong with that, that's for sure. You're fighting for a position, and to be in top 5, you've got to. I know Colin will be saying, well, you let me go last time. Well, it's not like 20 minutes into the race, so you've got to fight for it.
Yeah, that's right, and no doubt he's mindful that David Boot is fighting for the lead up there, and he wants to maximise team points as Colin's tucking in behind Richard here, and Richard's definitely not going to gift him that position at this point. Yeah,
so it's going to be hard here at the moment, Bernie. We've got Richard Craig getting hounded at Colin, and David Boot, his teammate, is hounding Troy, so definitely action-packed racing going on here today, and that's for 1st and 2nd and 5th and 6th. So great driving here by all the guys today.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll just jump in between these battles just to see how it pans out. As we can see now, Richard is definitely having to defend against Colin here as Colin's closed right up, but I guess the only way around, Colin's going to have to take to the outside, because Richard's not going to relinquish that defensive position.
No, he won't, and with this circuit here, Bernie, keeping the inside line will definitely give you a lot of advantages for the next corner. So, and coming out of the hairpin too, if you position your car right, if you've got that corner, you're going to position yourself for the next corner in the right spot, and so on and so forth. So it's a very hard track to pass, especially if someone is doing the right way of blocking, and that's picking your line and sticking to it. So very hard to go around the outside.
Yeah, that's for sure, and I tell you what, the two out front here battling, they're not allowing Ben to close back up. Ben's doing a 138.812, and these guys are in the 138.6s, so if anything, they're dropping Ben off.
Yeah, they certainly are. So it's great driving by these two. Yes, they are battling, but they're keeping their lap times down. And the thing that's going to happen here soon, Bernie, is I just saw that they're going to have lap traffic soon. So this may play in the hands either for Troy or David. So it's going to be interesting up here soon.
Certainly is, and Colin tried to go too wide with Richard through Sheen's corner there into Sterling's, and I tell you what, Richard defended that position beautifully and held Colin out.
And what that's doing too, Bernie, you can see Troy is actually closing in on these two.
Well, that's right. We're going to have a battle of three very shortly, the way these two are going. They're definitely slowing down as Colin now dives to the outside, has a look, but Richard's defending. He's not going to fall for that. I think Colin was hoping Richard would jump to the outside and he could undercut him, but Richard's, he's quite an experienced racer and he knows what he's doing out there.
Oh, for sure, Bernie. He's doing the right things. He's not weaving across the road. He's picking his line and sticking to it. And Colin's got to work for it, and that's the way it should be. With that amount of time left, you just don't give those positions away.
That's right, and David's still sitting on the back of Troy here, and he just can't make that move at the moment.
No, but they are coming up to some lap traffic here, so I take it we're coming up onto Kevin Willman here and Jason Willman, so be interesting to see if that's brothers there, Ben.
Yeah, I think they are brothers. I spoke to Jason last night actually, and I'm pretty sure they are brothers, and it's great to see the Willman brothers out there having a run tonight.
So they got through that. The lap car there just got out the road, so good driving there. As Troy goes a little bit wide there, kicks up the dust there to David, and David has another look there, just not close enough. He's not, but he's takes a shorter line through there, Bernie. So trying his best there to try and get this car really close to Troy at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, and he's lost a bit out of David's there, but he's closing in again now as they come through Surtees and up onto the back straight here.
Yeah, and Jason is just in front of him here at the moment, so we'll see how they go, because this will be a tricky spot to try to overtake or catch someone, Bernie. Oh, David's on the outside.
And Ben Smith just slapped that car behind there, coming into Hawthorn there, so he's through cleanly. We'll jump back, and Colin Sudi has managed to get past Richard Craig there, so we'll see if we can get a replay of how that occurred.
Well, they've got through Jason there, Bernie, so didn't get held up too much.
Okay, so Colin Sudi's now recovered up to 5th, but I tell you what, he's not going to catch Paul with 3 minutes to go, so he's going to have to settle for 5th place. As we jump back to our leader, Troy Burgess is still defending here from David Buda, and as Adrian said, they've just got past Kevin or Jason Willman there.
Yeah, and they're not taking it easy. Both of these drivers are pushing their cars to the limit, Bernie. You can see them. They keep going a little bit wide. They're just making small mistakes, but they're both doing it. So neither one of them are really getting that much of advantage from that. That's
right, and going through turn 3, folks, you probably see they're running really wide there. They can actually do that because they're not running on the grass. It's got a bit of a runoff, and the way iRacing works is it really counts off tracks as the grass area, I guess. So iRacing's allowing them to run as wide as they can through there, as long as they're back on the track before the grass comes along, that's for sure.
You know, that's probably a good one, Bernie, and you can see there on a couple of the corners up through there's a little bit of concrete on the curbs there as well, and you can actually cut those curbs quite aggressively as well, which is part of the track according to iRacing, which if you ever see races at Brands Hatch here, Bernie, they do that all the time. I think it just gives you, like, everyone's got the same advantage, so it doesn't hurt.
That's right, and we'll jump on board here with David Buda as he's coming to the outside, just so you can see how wide they do cut that turn 3. Well, we're actually on board with Troy, so jump back to David here. So you can see as they're coming down into turn 3 here, just keep an eye on their exit and just see how wide they run off onto that this part of the track. You can see just how they time their re-entry to make sure they don't hit that grass.
And if we keep an eye up here too, Bernie, once we get through here, we got the two right-handers. You can see that they'll take a lot of curb on the inside on the right-handers, and there's also a bit of runoff up here as well, Bernie, that they use as well, just to keep the momentum going in these cars.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the thing about these cars, is keeping momentum, and we'll stay with David in the cockpit here, because have a look as they enter Sheen's corner up here, how blind the entry is. They're pretty much using muscle memory through there to know when to turn to hit that apex.
And it makes it all that much harder when you're sitting behind a car too, Bernie. You just know sight of where it is, so it's just about a memory reflex for that one.
It certainly is. You're pretty much turning in just based on split second, your brain saying turn now. So you can see now David closing back in. They've just got the white flag, folks, so we're down to the last lap, and it's still anyone's race as David's looking on the back of Troy here, but he's not going to find a way. He's going to go on the outside, but that's a long way, and see if he's going to cut back here.
Yeah, I think David's just been sitting here trying to figure out the best way to overtake Troy, and he's leaving it for this lap, which is not a silly idea, Bernie, and I think the best opportunity is actually coming onto the front straightaway, getting a good run out off the last turn and getting a good draft off of him.
Yeah, well, he didn't get a good run onto the back straight here, so this is going to cost him time, because Troy did get a good run, and Troy's opened that gap to a couple of car lengths now.
Yeah, so a lot of work here for David to do, but it should help him out, like I said, Bernie, get a good run through here, close right out just before, the right-hander coming on the last turn, and getting a good run out, and might be able to draft him across the line.
Yeah, so if he can get down here through Sterling's cleanly, get a good run up into Clark, he might have a chance, but I think this may be Troy's race. So as we can see them coming into the last corner now, Troy Burgess holding off David Buda. David's looking on the outside, Troy's going defensive, cutting in to take the flag here. David's right behind him, it just doesn't have enough. And round 7 of the Australian-New Zealand Skip Barber Championship goes to Troy Burgess.
Yeah, well done there, Bernie, and well done, Troy. Awesome effort there also by David, and you could tell that these guys were slowing down because Ben Smith came home in third, and he dropped that time right down there, Bernie.
He did, and Troy Duffin has managed to pass Richard Craig there, so Troy comes home into 7th. 8th is Richard Craig. Good finish for Richard tonight.
Yeah, we hear a little bit of chatter there. A couple of guys ran out of fuel, not quite have enough.
We saw that happen, I think, the last round too, didn't we? Where the leaders ran out of fuel, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there we go. I've just heard over the team radio, Richard actually ran out of fuel on that last lap there, Bernie. So hard luck, but a good run though for him.
Oh, definitely. As we can see, Michael Thomas now coming home in 13th position at this stage, so that's a great run there. And we'll take you through our final finishing positions, folks. So today's winner is Troy Burgess, followed extremely closely by David Buda there, who just couldn't make that move. Ben Smith from Evolution Racing Australia home in third, Paul Wood-Stotesbury fourth, fifth Colin Sudi, Troy Duffin sixth, Richard Craig seventh. Morell comes home, that's Graham Morell in eighth, Mick Gray ninth, Nora Lampy finishes in 10th position. In 11th we have Stephen Davis, followed by Michael Thomas and then Ben Seidel. Darren Lessue's 14th, Henderson 15th, Conroy 16th, Jason Willman, great run there, 17th, beating his brother Kevin home who finished in 18th. 19th was Ian Bevan and 20th was Anthony Mansarella. And 21st was James Keane. So looking at that, James and Anthony both retired from that race, and I don't think James actually... Oh, he might have started, but they both didn't complete the first lap.
Yeah, basically there, Bernie. So I actually got something right for a change. I actually picked Troy for the win, so I actually got something that's about probably the only win I'm going to get today. So a driver of the day, geez, hard for me to pick. I think Richard, I know he ran out of fuel, Bernie, but that drive at the end in that last stint just to try and hold his position, what an awesome effort there by Richard today.
Yeah, well, Richard started in 8th and finished 6th, but I'm looking at the moment, Ben Smith, 12th up to 3rd, but I guess he was always going to do that. So yeah, probably give it to Richard today, because he's had a good clean run today and had some great battles. So bring up our race winner, Troy Burgess. Hi Troy, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Great race. Looks like you led that race pretty much from start to finish, but David wasn't going to let you go, mate.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to make a mistake to make it a bit easier than it was, but it is a difficult track to pass on, so I knew if it got close at the end that I could possibly hold it out.
Yeah, well, the gap at the end was only 1/100th of a second, and we thought David was going to have a go at you coming down the back straight into Hawthorns, but it looked like he had a crack between turns 3 and 4 and just lost that momentum.
Yeah, it jumped down to about half a second after that corner coming onto the back straight, so I felt at that point that I should be able to hold off and get it to the line for a win.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic drive. That whole race was well driven. And how did the Skippy handle around here over the 50-minute race?
Yeah, I found it great. It was pretty consistent the whole way through. I wasn't trying to do fastest laps. I was just trying to do mid 1 minute 38 just throughout the whole race. So I knew if I could do that, then it would be pretty hard for some of the other guys to get past me.
Fantastic. And before we let you go, I'll just hand you over to Adrian and see if he's got any further questions for you.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Congratulations again, Troy. Thank you for winning it. Just actually, I won something today. We had a pick on who was going to win, and you led from the start, mate. So awesome effort. And yeah, David really gave you a lot of hassle there at the end. I think he was just trying to pick off a position where he could overtake you there.
Well, I'm glad I helped out Adrian for the win, but it was one of those things. I mean, the whole qualifying session throughout the week, there was 100ths of a second between me and David, so there was nothing in it. I was actually quite happy when I saw him drop back to 3rd, but then I think there was an incident with the number 2 car, and then he managed to catch me in the pits. I didn't want another situation like Montreal, so I probably took a little bit too much petrol, but I wanted to make sure it was safe.
No, very well done, mate, and congratulations once again. Good to see you have a win there, mate, and yeah, we'll see you next time around.
Yeah, no worries. Finally got a win, which was good because I was pretty competitive at Phillip Island, and I led a lot of Montreal, but couldn't manage to get the win. So it was good to finally get one.
Yeah, fantastic. And before we let you go, Troy, did you want to give a shout out to your team or sponsors?
Just a quick shout out to RRTV for the telecast, and obviously Richard Craig, who does a lot of the background work on the forums and so on, and just my family and my wife who puts up with me in doing this sport. So that's about it.
Fantastic. And will we see you in any of the other cars later on today?
Nah, just the one race day. I haven't actually had a lot of time on the simulator recently, so just sort of sticking to the one race. Although I'd like to try the Star Monster on a Thursday night, but I haven't managed to be able to get there yet.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a run. That's a great series. But anyway, Troy, thanks for popping in, and congratulations on your win. And we'll see you next time.
No worries. Thanks, Bernie. Thanks, Adrian.
Well, Adrian, I think you should go and jump in that Star Mazda, because you've only got half an hour till race start at this point.
Yeah, Benny, I'll go off, get some laps down, and have a bit of fun out there today, and hopefully you don't see too many mistakes by me, and I'll have a good run.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck, mate, and we'll make sure the camera's on you. No pressure.
Yeah, no problems, Bernie. Have a good one.
So I'd like to welcome to the commentary box Ben Smith. Ben, congratulations on a great drive, coming from 12th and finishing up in 3rd. We were expecting you to be up there, but how did you find the competition out there today?
Yeah, it was interesting first lap. I would have liked to make up a few more spots, but it wasn't to be. Managed to avoid incident though, which is always good. The front boys had a lot of pace today, so it made it difficult to catch up, and I think they did alright in their pit stops, and there was no mistakes that I could capitalise on. So 3rd it is, so could be worse, but it could be better.
Oh, that's right. It could be a lot worse. But so what happened to you in qualifying? Because we noticed you qualified a long way down. Was it that you just didn't have a good run, or was it the field was just that quick?
I've been too busy with work this week, so I only made one of the sessions with about 10 minutes to go in it, so I think I only got about 4 or 5 laps in total for qualifying and practice before the session today. So that's just how it is. It's always been a fun start for mid-pack though.
Oh, it's definitely fun for us too to call it as we watched you progress through the field. So fantastic race today. Before I let you go, did you want to give a shout out to your sponsors?
Yeah, shout out to Maverick Welding and ERA again for having me on board with the team.
Fantastic. All right, well, Ben, thanks for popping in, and are you going to be running in any of the other races today?
I'll be looking to do a bit better in the F1 race later on this afternoon, so I'll be excited with the new qualifying format there.
It definitely will be, and we wish you the best of luck for that race. We'll be covering the race, but unfortunately not the qualifying, so we'll tell the viewers the final grid positions as we go to air. But anyway, Ben, thanks so much for popping in, and best of luck for the rest of the day.
No worries, thanks for the broadcast. It really helps, and we love what you do.
So folks, that was Ben Smith from ERA, sponsored by Maverick Welding. So I'll bring up our driver of the day, Richard Craig. Hi Richard, welcome to the commentary box. Great race today there, mate. We saw at first you stepped aside for Colin, but you didn't make it quite so easy for him the second time.
Hi, Bertie. No, I didn't really have the pace or the rhythm, wasn't feeling that comfortable, and I had a small pedal problem early on, so I just wanted to be really conservative and be there at the end, not get caught up in it. So I let Smitty through, and I decided I'd let Colin through. And I couldn't stay with Colin the first time around, but I figured the second time, make life a bit more difficult. But then I must have just short-fueled by a fraction. Just coming over the top of the hill, I started coughing and spluttering, and it worked yesterday in practice. Exactly the same, so I don't know. There we go. It was a lot of fun, and I made it to the end for once.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we heard the radio chatter that you'd run out of fuel there on that last lap. So bad luck, but you'll be happy to know we did award you Driver of the Day today. So congratulations on that, and that's something you can take home with you today.
Oh, that's great. What did I do to deserve that?
Oh, it was just a great racing. You did. You were consistent today. You were defending well, racing cleanly, and it was a well-deserved prize in our books.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that. That's great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
so we're a pretty successful round, and you saw some good dicing up the front, I gather, Bernie.
Oh, your teammate David Buda really turned it on for our guys. In fact, I'll bring David up because we're running out of time. So, But yeah, David had a great battle there with Troy. He only missed out by 1/100th of a second, but those guys are inseparable the whole race. And we've got your teammate up here now, Richard, so I'll let you interview your teammate. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounded like a perfect idea. Congratulations, David. Another really consistent run, and sounds like you really took it to Troy, mate. You want to tell us how it was, what it was like for you?
Wow, it was a pretty amazing race. I've got to say it's probably one of the most intense races I've done for a long time. Yuha got a really good start and came down the inside of me, and I was watching Troy over the top of his roll hoop for a while, and he sort of just lost it coming down the bottom of the hill there, and then once he cleared out, the gap remained quite static between myself and Troy for a long time, and I could see Bear Smitty in my rearview mirror. Sort of his gap was about 3.9, and then it came down and made a huge error into 1. And the rest of the race was just watching Troy's rear wing and pushing as hard as I could. It was just incredible.
Well, that's great, mate, and that's a lot of consistency from you. So, yeah, tell me about Smitty coming through, because I think he went past me. I let him through on the back straight with about 3 in or something like that, maybe 4 laps in, and then he was just travelling with Paul, and they weren't that far up the road. They were fairly consistent at about 5 or 6 seconds. So when did he get onto you, mate? Was it after the pit stop?
Well, he never really did get onto us. After he got past Paul, he reeled me in with a bad error at turn 1, and then he sort of just chipped away 10th at a time. At one point, I think he was down to about 1.7 behind me, and I was about 1.2 behind Troy, I guess, for a long time. And then he sort of dropped away a little bit there in the middle. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But as for the pit stop, I'm pretty sure he and Troy took on a bit more fuel than I did. So he seemed after pit to struggle to keep with Troy, and I was in Troy's draft. So I just held on to the coattails for a while and hoped Ben couldn't catch us.
Yeah, good stuff. So I know Bernie needs to wrap up. So Bernie, next round, Zolder GP. That's a great track, isn't it, mate?
Oh, it's a fantastic track. It's one of my favourites. It's going to be extremely exciting as well in the skippies going through those chicanes with those high ripple strips, I guess you could say.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they are high, but it's just not quite as insane as it is when you're at Montreal Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So I don't mind that, and it's a track that really, really suits the skippy. In our pre-season testing, I had an absolute blast going around Zolder. Really loved it. So very happy that we selected it.
I think I actually vaulted over a wall in a Lotus 79 at Zolder. It's the first chicane, something else.
Yeah, well, let's hope you don't vault it over the wall in the next round, David. But also, Richard, from the organisers' point of view, you're happy with the turnout. We had 24 guys qualify. We had 21 take to the grid. So it would have been great to have the full 24, but 21's still not too bad.
Yeah, and a couple of the guys that didn't take to the grid actually had mechanical failure. David Grinnell, I know for sure, he had a pedal issue after qualifying on Saturday, so he wasn't able to make it. You know, it really warmed up during the week in qualifying, Bernie, and it was pretty clear that we were going to be in for a good race. We had, you know, Smitty out of position as well. I think he only did 4 laps, and we had some pretty hot pace up the front end. You know, Troy getting down into the 2s and Dave in the 3s, and that's fair flying around here. So I knew we were going to be in for a good race. And I'm hanging out actually to watch the replay now, because it's a beautiful track to drive. It really suits the car, you know, but it's edgy. You really need to get your wits about you.
Yeah, definitely. I think you'd work harder in the Skippy than you would in the Star Mazda or the F1 that we've got later on today. But we should wrap this broadcast up, guys. So thanks very much for popping into the RRTV commentary booth. My co-host Adrian Jarvis has already jumped out. He's racing in the next race, so that'll be exciting. Folks, we will be taking a 5-minute break now, and we will be back at around about 2:15, 2:20 to cover the next round of the Open Star Mazda Championship, and that's a 40-lap race. So go and grab a cup of coffee and come back and join us. And if you like these videos, definitely hit the like button. If you don't like them, just leave a comment on how we can improve things, and I'll definitely look at that. So thanks for watching RRTV, and we'll see you back here in 5 to 10 minutes.